What if I told you one of Germany's most beautiful medieval towns is still flying under the radar? Welcome to Marburg, a fairy tale hill town of half-timbered houses, winding cobblestone streets, and a castle towering high above it all. In this guide, we'll show you the best things to see, eat, and experience so you can make the most of your visit. All right, so we are in the Marktplatz, or the town hall, the town square of Marburg, and we got a couple things to talk about here in this square. First of all, supposedly, right there, the fountain of St. George, the dragon slayer, that is supposedly the place where the German state of Hesse was founded in 1248, I think. Sophie, who is the daughter of Saint Elizabeth, and we'll talk about her later, but Sophie, supposedly there at that fountain, she proclaimed that her son, Heinrich, who was only 4 years old at the time, he was the ruler of the land of Hessen. And there you go. That's how the whole it was a country then, I suppose, but the whole country state of Hessen was founded in 1248. In front of me, we've got the beautiful town hall, and this was built in the early 1500s. So it's a late Gothic style, but the beautiful tower was added in the 1600s. It's a little newer than the rest of the town hall. And the clock tower has a really nice clock on it. It has a statue of Lady Liberty, or Lady Justice, holding her scales. It has a rooster up there, and it also has a trumpeter. And every hour on the hour, the Glockenspiel plays. So that is the core of Marburg, a true medieval hill town here in Germany, just a little ways out of Frankfurt. And we're going to go explore the city and show some more of this beautiful town to you. Okay, so it's lunchtime in Marburg, and we are at the Ratschenke, which is right outside of the Rathaus on the beautiful square. It's a very nice setting here. It's a beautiful day. The weather's perfect. But we have Schweinemedaillons mit Käsespätzle, and it came with the salad. The salad was really nice too, but this is supposed to be like the specialty of the house. The cheese is delicious. It's so good. The bees are really wanting some. That is delicious. That is really good. Nice and tender. The meat is perfectly cooked. The cheese is spectacular. I tell you what, this is really good. So when you come to Marburg, come here to the Ratschenke by the Rathaus, and I tell you, the Schweinemedaillons are delicious. I think the schnitzel would be really good too. They have schnitzel on the menu, a couple of other things, but it's a pretty small menu. But this, I can highly recommend it. All right, so this is the Church of Saint Elizabeth, and this was built in the 1200s, I think around 1238 is when construction started. And I've read that this is the first completely, truly Gothic church in all of Germany. So it was a Catholic church, and it was named St. Elizabeth, and it held her remains. Now Elizabeth, she was a Hungarian princess who married royalty here in Hessen, and so she moved here to Hessen. And then when her husband died, he died of the plague, she moved here to Marburg, and she cared for people. She had like a foundation, I guess, where she cared for the sick and stuff. So when she passed on, then she was made a saint. Now, her remains used to be here, but after the Reformation, this became a Protestant church, so they took her remains out of the church and they buried them somewhere. But there's still a couple of nice statues of her in there. Now, it's going under some major renovations right now, so about half the church is closed off. Unless you want to pay €1, you can go back and see the nice golden, I don't know what you call it, shrine casket thing, and that's really cool. It's worth €1 to go back there, but I don't know when the renovations, how long they're going to be taking, but they want to make it back to its original state. So after the Reformation, the Protestants came in and they took down a lot of the original artwork and stuff. So they want to make it back to its original state the way it was back in the 1200s. Church of St. Elizabeth. All right, so Marburg is a true medieval hill town. And what do you think you had at the top of the hill of all medieval hill towns? That's right, a castle. So we're here at the Marburg Castle, and it sits about 100 meters above like the second layer of the town. So Marburg is kind of in stages. You got like a lower level where you got the St. Elizabeth Church. Then you've got a middle level where you've got like the Marktplatz and the Rathaus and all that. Then you come up higher and you've got the top part with the castle, and it's about 100 meters above the middle level, I guess. So you have to walk. There's a lot of stairs. If you're in reasonably good shape, it's not that tough. But if you have mobility issues, you can either take the bus or you can drive up here. There's a parking lot, but it has limited spots. The castle is really cool. There's great views from up here over the city, so I definitely recommend coming up here. You can go inside and walk around. They have like a museum, and it costs €8 to go in. We did not go in. It's supposed to have one of the largest and one of the nicest, I guess, night halls in all of Central Europe. It's supposed to be really nice. We haven't seen it, so I don't know, but that's what I've read. But it's a really cool facility. You can walk around all around the other side and explore. Now, most of the castle was built in the 13th century, but the oldest parts date back into the 11th century. They started construction in the 11th century. There's some 12th century construction here as well, but most of it was built in the 13th century. So really cool place. You got to come explore the castle when you are in Marburg. Get a little of exercise, walk up the hill, climb some steps, burn off that nice lunch and the Kaffee and Kuchen you're going to have. Okay, Marburg is the home of I think it's called Philip University, which was founded in 1527, and it is the oldest Protestant university in the world. Now, two of its most famous students were Jakob and Wilhelm Grimm, the Grimm brothers, who were famous because they went around Germany collecting the fairy tales that we all know and love. Now, those became popular to those of us from the United States. They became popular by Disney. Walt Disney took those and kind of cleaned them up a little bit and made them a little more child-friendly because some of them are a little gruesome. But back to the Grimm brothers here. So to honor two of its most famous students, the city of Marburg has the Grimm Brothers Trail. I forget the exact name of it, but it has a trail through the city, and it has different points that honors things from the fairy tales. And so right here we have a slipper, a shoe that's fallen off someone's foot, and that one, of course, recognizes Cinderella. They have different points for Snow White, the frog prince, and some of them I haven't heard of. So some of them, I guess, are only known maybe in Germany. Maybe they were too gruesome and Walt Disney couldn't even clean those up to make them kid-friendly. I don't know. But anyway, and it takes you around most of the points of interest. So you can go to the Tourist Information Office and get a map of the Grimm's Trail, and it'll take you to most of the points you want to see in Marburg. All right, so as you travel around Germany and you visit these old medieval cities and towns, one thing you'll know, there's a theme, and that is the devil loved to participate in old construction projects from the Middle Ages, and Marburg is no exception to that. So the castle here on top of the hill, back when they were building that, when they started construction in the 1100s, the devil came around and he was like, hey, the devil was always up to something, right? And he's like, hey, he said, I'll help you build this castle, in exchange for the first soul that crosses over and enters into the castle, right? So the townspeople were like, okay, that sounds like a great deal, you know, and they were pretty smart, right? So they're like, well, what are we going to do? Who are we going to sacrifice? Who's going to be the first person that's going to give up their soul to the devil so we can get this castle done? Because we're tired of working and we want to get finished and drink some beer. Feierabend, right? So finally they said, you know what? The devil just said the first so. He didn't say it had to be a person, right? So you got it, right? So they sent over, opening day of the castle, they had their ribbon cutting ceremony, and they sent across. Legends are different. Some versions say it was a goat, some say it was a chicken. I'm not really sure, but it wasn't a person, right? So the first creature that went through there with the soul, the devil found it, and oh, he was so upset, and he took it. And then, as far as I know, he just ran away. He just left in a huff. I haven't read that he damaged anything. I guess there was some work left to be completed at that point, and the devil said, y'all are on your own. Finish that on yourself. You know, you fooled me again. But anyway, he did help build most of the castle here in Marburg. Klingerhofer, and this is in a beautiful building. I tell you what, the building itself is enough to come by and look at it, but their cakes look great. And look at this, we've got the pistachio strawberry cake, and that just looks outstanding. And the cake looks good. So they said their best seller is actually New York cheesecake, but I wanted to go with the pistachio. So we got this, and we've got a nice big cup of coffee. Look at that. Look at those strawberries coming off. I love pistachio. Oh boy. That is good. That's something special. That truly is something special. So when you're in Marburg, you got to come by Klingerhofer, and it's on a beautiful street, beautiful building. Get you some cake. They also have ice cream if it's hot. Spaghetti ice, I think, and all the makings. Nice coffee. Great place to come by for your afternoon treat here in Marburg. All right, so Marburg is on the Lahn River, and right behind me, this bridge. This is the Wiedenhäuser Wiedenhäuser Bridge, and this is the oldest bridge in Marburg on the Lahn River. And the original bridge here was built in, I believe it was in the 1300s, but it was destroyed a couple times by flooding. This bridge was built in the 1800s, and you know it's still used today. It's really nice. You got some nice views of the town from here, and also on a nice summer day like today, you can rent paddle boats right here to go out on the Lahn River. So really nice place. Come over down from take some steps down from the upper city down here and walk around. It's really nice down here. Okay, so make sure you come down from the hillside on the other side of the river, come down to the Lahn River, cross over the Wiedenhäuser Bridge and come down Wiedenhäuser Strasse. And this is the former tanner's quarters. And it's one of the oldest sections of the city, and it has a lot of these beautiful half-timbered houses, many of them hundreds and hundreds of years old. So come on down, cross over the bridge. Really nice area over there, and look at some of these old pretty houses. A lot of them have been restored, and it's really nice. Really quite a nice neighborhood, Wiedenhäuser. All right, so if you drive into town and you park and you want to get to the old town, right here on Pilgrimstein Strasse, you could take an elevator, so you don't have to go all the way up. There's a lot of steps to climb, a lot of hills, so you can do that. You just need some exercise. But if you maybe have some mobility issues, you can come right here. It's right across the street from a place called Welcome Hotel, and take an elevator, and it'll take you right up to the top of you'll basically be in the center of the old town, pretty close to the Marktplatz. right, so if you just cross the street from the Elizabeth Church and come up a couple of lanes and come up some steps, you'll come to the St. Michael's Chapel. And this was built in, I think, 1217, and it has a really cool old cemetery. But you could get some really nice views of the church right across the street from here. Probably the best views of the church you're going to find. And it's not that far. There are some steps you got to come up, but it's not too difficult to get here. Okay, so we are having dinner in Marburg, and we are at Weinlädele, I think. Is that correct? We'll put it on the screen. But I want to say they were very nice because we were looking for a couple places. We had a couple places on our list for dinner. We went, and they're both full. We don't have reservations. We went to the other place, and they just immediately said no, said they were full, didn't even try to do anything. This place, they really bent over backwards to try to find us a spot. So I really appreciate that. So it's very nice of them. And the food looks great. We have some schnitzel with ram sauce and mushrooms and some spätzle. And we have some spoondekees, which we discovered a few weeks ago in Mainz, and we really liked it. So Mainz is not too far from here, so we really like the spoondekees. But I want to try this schnitzel. It looks good. The gravy looks good. Look at that, nice and crispy. That is excellent. That's really good schnitzel. It's cooked really nicely, nice and crispy. The gravy is good. I like it. That was a good choice. I'll try some of the spätzle. That is also really good. So this was a good choice. The schnitzel with the ram sauce. I think it would be good without sauce too, but really nice. Very nice meal here in Marburg. Guten Appetit. Okay, so right across from the Weinlädele, where we had dinner at, and it was really good. Highly recommend that place. They're super nice too. But right across the street from there, there's this. It's called Wiedenhäuser. It's this little square here, and we've got this kind of strange-looking glass cube here. Well, what this is, this protects what's left of the old synagogue, and you can see the ruins down underneath there. The synagogue is from the 14th century, so it was built sometime in the 1300s. And Marburg had a pretty significant Jewish population up until the 20th century, and we know unfortunately what happened then. But I think it's pretty cool that they have this built here to protect what's left, to kind of preserve a little bit of that history and that heritage. And there's a well like right in front of me, an old well, and I think that is from the 12th century, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, just come up from the Marktplatz and right here across from the Weinlädele, and you can see the old synagogue. Thanks for exploring Marburg with us. We hope this guide inspires your visit and helps you make the most of your trip. We'll see you in the next one.